Prof, what do you say? Did you expect that this was the likely outcome? The EC had already, started the plans for the rerun.
So, good morning to the co-panelists. Good morning to the viewers. And I realize
you're taking an interest in the judiciary yourself, in the Afrobarometer work.
Yes. So, I didn't expect that outcome, but I would also say that I was pleased with that outcome, in the sense that if I go back and look at how we've handled disputes about the outcome of a parliamentary election, there were two cases that immediately came to mind. I think it was the 2004 election. I think it was Akwetia, where there was some violent incidences in a number of polling stations, leading to contestation about who was the rightful winner of that election. And the remedy by the court was, okay, just go back to those polling stations where there were issues and then rerun them.
Right.
And then I also thought of the situation with Ablekuma North, which was, let's go back to the problematic polling stations and rerun them. If you also go back to the Supreme Court decision in the 2012 petition,
right,
the minority opinion said, look, if there are some infractions as part of an election, separate them into two: administrative errors and legal infractions. If there are legal infractions, then your remedy is where those legal infractions or errors occurred, then you go there and you fix it.
Not the entire.
So when I
after this fufu and pepper soup, I will score goals like them the dash points.
Look at the facts of the case. I mean, there was no dispute about the fact that certain polling stations and their results were problematic. So I was not sure why the judge's remedy then was throw the whole thing out and have a do-over, as opposed to let's just remedy the problematic areas.
Nonetheless, did you find the reaction, particularly from the minority group, reprehensible? Now, the Afenyomaking also issues a statement and says this is a victory for the rule of law and for democracy. Some of the judges that they seem to have made adverse comments against them, particularly about Justice Georgina Wood's, Gertrude Tokonu's removal, are in this suit as well and held for their candidate. I'm talking about Justice Amadou Umoro Tanko, for example. So those who held the four who held in favor of the quashing the decision of the High Court, Justices Amadou Tanko, Yoni Kolendi, Samuel Kwame Adibu Esiedu. Does that name ring a bell to anybody? And then Henry Kofi. It was Justice Gabriel Scott Poorman who dissented.
Partisans tend to have this love-hate relationship with institutions, right? When the outcome of institutional decisions favor them, they tend to be very happy with the institution. And typically when it doesn't favor them, then they tend to have issues with the institution. So if you look at historically how they've responded to court rulings or even other kinds of institutional decisions, the institution is great if their pronouncement is in line with their expectations or what they want. And in fact, you also see that reflected in how citizens respond to the question of trust in institutions in the Afrobarometer survey. I always say that when a citizen's party is in power, the party they say they feel close to is in power, you see their level of trust go up a little bit more than when the party they prefer is in opposition.
So what you may find their unprincipled conduct eventually affects the perception of the
precisely
about the judiciary.
Exactly. You see that reflected in various rounds of the survey where trust keeps changing depending on whether your preferred party, is in power or not. To the point where even in one of our Afrobarometer surveys, there is even a high perception that Ghanaians believe judges tend to be very influenced by politics than just looking at the law in their decisions.
All right. Yes, so